All right, folks, welcome to game number 1 of the Friend or Foe Series 5 quarterfinals. We got a matchup between Team Washed and rapidly losing Sanity, which is exactly how my mind is constantly going lately. I am your friendly neighborhood shoutcaster, Sharigan, and I've got joining me on the caster's desk today, Rap Terror. He is going to be joining me over here. We're going to be watching some pretty exciting matches, I think.
Yeah, I think this will be a really exciting series. I'm excited to see how both of these teams, the strategies they've come up with in the break week. I think we could see some really nice adaptions from these teams. These are both teams that have had, some kind of rough seasons, especially in the back half. But that just makes it all the more exciting to see them go head to head.
It really is, and just like these two teams have been absolutely fantastic to watch just across the board. I'm really rooting just to see Pengu Soul and Escape kind of running on the field again once more, and when you look at these bans real quickly, like, we're not going to see a lot of respect being played towards the jungler, mid lane, and top lane out of Team Wash, where they know that built like Mewtwo is just kind of a scary thing to watch out for. And then we're very clearly trying to lock down Barbiturate and Johnny Tsunami in the terms of RLS, so you can kind of see which sides they're targeting.
Yeah, and I think the Scion ban is pretty good. Scion right now is in a pretty rough state, I would say. Lethality Scion just AFK farming in the back, taking turrets. It's kind of a nuisance to deal with, so just getting that out of the way ahead of time is always good. Lucian coming in as the first pick, being matched by the Xayah. This isn't a matching you usually see that much in the bot lane. Generally, you're seeing Lucian into more as a kind of a counter pick into lanes that are easier to bully, like maybe a Jinx or an Aphelios, someone that doesn't have a strong laning phase. And Xayah also, someone who's getting there for poke to harass those kind of carries. So interesting to see them both going up against each other. I would assume that Lucian is going to be paired with a Nami. That's the traditional pairing of Lucian. But it's going to be a Sona.
That is going to be really interesting. We haven't seen Sona too much lately. Very good CC control with that crescendo, so you're able to just get a nice bit of lockdown, which against a Xayah and Diana is something you desperately need. Xayah, though, can very easily, with that her ultimate, jump above it and completely avoid any of that CC and just continue peppering the team. So that's going to be something that Team Watch has to watch out for once these team fights actually start kicking off. Something I also kind of wanted to point out here real quick is that Wednesday is actually the only member of Team Washed that is on the KDA leaderboards, while RLS actually has 4 members. They actually round out the bottom 4. Just kind of little interesting little bit of information. Might be seeing some crazy Fiesta fights coming up.
Fiesta fights are always the best to see. Corky, good answer in the mid. So these teams have drafted outside the AD carry role, unless that is Lucian top. Or I guess they have an orange, so it's not Lucian top. They're basically split the map right now. So we have jungle mid on RLS. We got support top on Washed. So I'm expecting to see bans kind of targeted at the opposing lanes for that. You see the Veigar ban already coming out from RLS. I'm guessing Wash is going to try to take a support ban out here. Maybe something like Nautilus or Leona, someone that can dive the Sona. Sona does not do very well in the dive. It's going to be a Soraka ban, actually. It's also, annoying, just counter healing all the poke the Sona does. It could be a little bit of nuisance too. I'm personally not that big a fan of the Sona pick. I think it has some problems. I think Sona's kit isn't, and her just position right now in the meta is not great compared to other options. But, Wash, they could have gotten a strategy here. They must have picked it for a reason, especially so early. So I'm interested to see what they're going to pair with it. I would assume something with a lot of burst to kind of play off of the ultimate with. You have the Ornn to help follow it up with already, but something to kind of just do a massive amount of damage on a gank or maybe even a team fight. So you see the last ban coming in from Wash is going to be... What do you think it's going to be, Shagan?
I didn't have a chance to even try and come up with a guess, unfortunately. And I never would have guessed Kayle, personally, because I feel like they've already locked out a bunch of top laners, sure, but it's kind of one of those things where built like Mewtwo is just one of those things where, it's going to be a problem, but I think PJ Salt's pretty confident going into this matchup. In regards to that Sona pick, though, it's like I would just want to say I completely agree with you. It's not the Ardent Sensor meta anymore, and I actually really prefer RLS going for something like the Nautilus instead of a Soraka pick, because that just doesn't really fit their style. The Nautilus is going to allow a huge amount of engage, basically able to just drop that depth charge from probably like half the lane away to initiate the fight, in which case whatever target he's locked on is going to get caught out. And if Tephra has even half as many hooks as we saw Antunes pulling off the other day, Team Washed is going to be in for a very rough game.
Yeah, and the level 1 also, like I said, they got to think about. Sona has one of the weakest level 1s in the game. Her health is so low, and she's probably going to be starting Q, so she's not going to have the heal. If Nautilus hits that hook early on and maybe War Leader comes down like a level 2 gank, like it could be a very easy first blood onto Wash. So they've got to be careful. Rounding out the comp with, looks like they're trying to do like a Galio dive comp, but I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it feels really good, but I was just not sure, besides the Lucian, where the damage is really coming from in this team, unless that's full AP Galio.
Most likely it's going to be coming from the Ornn Brittle procs, and the Lucian is where they're depending on the damage to come from. Volibear is going to provide a decent amount, but it's not going to be consistent, and it's not going to be super bursty. Team Watch is going to be looking a little bit rough because of that. They are going to be extending these fights out, which is something RLS really wants. It allows Xayah to get time to put her feathers on the field. It allows Set to build up his grit, which just means that they're going to be able to pummel Wash if they hit those skill shots. It's going to be basically, once these fights get going, if Wash doesn't lock things down quickly, it could end up turning into a real bloodbath.
Yeah, I think RLS has gotten the better end of this draft so far. I mean, just overall, I think the set as a final pick is very good. It's got a lot of counter potential, especially into the Volibear jump. Can stop the Ornn, while he's trying to get the Ram out from his ultimate. Going to be able to ult that away and just kind of suplex it. If once Galio lands, can also try to push him away. There's a lot of good, counter from that on the side of it. So I'm gonna give this to RLS, but like you said, it's on the ball of Wash. The ball is in Wash's court to get this game moving, to get the pace, set the pace for this. They need to really get ahead in this game, because if this stays even and you get to like 30 minutes into this game, your Lucian is not going to beat the damage output of a Corki and a Xayah, especially if Ward Leader gets on top of him. He's basically dead. He's just guaranteed dead. Him and Tsunami, super squishy, super dead. So they need to get ahead. You need to see Godux Anime making good engages. You need to see Wednesday roaming and trying to set up plays, especially on that bottom side, because they really need Barbiturates to take the lead here.
Yes, and it's going to be either way. We're just seeing the 5-man huddle in this bottom tri-brush. They were expecting a bit of an invade. Not a bad idea, considering who RLS has on their fields, but it was really smart of them to just go for the 5-man point. Probably more luck than smarts, but either way, we do see Diana hovering over by her Raptors. It looks like we might be seeing a Raptor start, red buff start, so that's going to mean that they're going to be pathing down, looking for that early gank, like you mentioned, and that's going to be kicking things off very, very quickly.
Yeah, and it's why we watching the junglers. Like that's really going to be the big key here. Can Godix Anime get things moving? It's going to be on him to kind of get the ganks coming in, getting those plays all set up, but also on Ward Leader to kind of keep track of him. He can keep track of Godix Anime. It's going to be really hard to get those ganks off for the Volibear. He doesn't have any like dashes or anything like, a hook bot side. Oh, no,
that is going to be a nice hook, a little bit of damage coming out, but unfortunately not going to result in a kill. That is going to be no summoners burned either.
Yeah, I thought they might follow up a bit more on that. Like we were saying in the draft, level 1, very good for the side of RLS. A lot of damage that can put out. It gets being better where at level 2 you can pull the feathers back. And I've played this matchup in the top side before. I pity the Ornn. Like Set, I think it's a very good pick into the Ornn. I'm sure some people would disagree with that, but I think it's great. Like it's got so much ability to stop the CC layering from the Ornn, stop him from getting an ultimate off. Kind of wins straight up in 1v1 duels, and the grit punch makes it even harder for the Ornn to deal with. So I feel pretty bad for the Ornn in this matchup, and it's not looking too great for him right now.
Yeah, it's not looking too great, It's going to be a bit rough starting off. Look at this. We got a gank here in the top lane. That is going to be like Mewtwo getting completely pummeled. There's very little he can do, but look at this. The damage that Set is able to put out, but unfortunately, it's not going to be quite enough. The grit is not going to be able to save him, and he is going to go down, giving up first blood. In the meantime, we see a fight once again. Peppering shots coming back and forth in this bot lane as these two teams try to make some kind of lead and just build off of each other's mistakes.
So just as we're saying, this is going to be like kind of suck for the Ornn, Godix Anime gets up there, does what we want him to do, getting the pace set, getting that early gank on to build like Mewtwo. I think he could have gotten out of that. I think that set could have just flashed after the Volibear had already engaged and gotten away. But trying to still take the fight, came still close. I think 1 or 2 more punches might have been able to take it. He wasn't going to get it, but he was getting close.
Getting a little bit close. We do see that Diana's going to be back right there, getting a nice bit of spending their gold just after that last little gank. We do see a flash coming out in the top lane. That is going to be Set finally burning that. He is going to be able to survive, though, because of it. We are going to be seeing just a little bit more damage in this mid lane. That is a nice fat wave that's pushing right into the Corki.
And the Corki also, we haven't talked much about that, but Pengu Soul's Corki can be really, really impactful. Like if he gets a good package, they kind of trap them in the little narrow path in the jungle, or kind of up against a wall, maybe getting locking in between Set or even on Diana. It could be pretty brutal, like to deal with for the side of Washed. But it's also, I think, a good pick to counter. Ooh, hang on, engaged and dead. Down goes Johnny Tsunami in a very quick catch right there. We were talking about this earlier, about just how like, you know how rough it is for a Sona, you know, very weak early in the game, very difficult to deal with it. Oh, there you go. Yep, there we go. Okay, so sorry, having a little bit of a mic issue there on myself. So good call right there from RLS, getting that lead in the early game and that bottom side. Tef doing great with the hooks. You know, we were saying he's been hitting a lot of hooks this season on that Nautilus, been very good at getting those nice picks. Leaves it right in right there. Is now, you know, we've stabilized into a little bit of a low. They're going for Dragon right now. Tef walking down.
Nice fight, looking to break out right here. Tefra just going right in, getting a good lockdown on that first shot. He's holding onto that hook. We have the Galio ultimate coming in. Flash over the wall. Tef sitting right on that blast code, looking for the re-engage. There it is. Jumps over the wall. Hook coming out. Galio's getting caught. That means he's going to have to flash away in order just to stay alive. Corky coming in, peppering with those rockets. That is RLS forcing Washed away from this Drake. RLS War Leader going in, continuing the engage, though. He's going to lose his life as he just oversteps a little bit. However, look at the damage coming out from Corky, taking down the Galio. That is going to be huge. Absolutely massive. And Johnny Tsunami gets obliterated by the Xayah.
Yeah, now look up here on the top side, PJ Soul.
Speaking of that, we got a fight going on here. Just missing that. Yeah,
team just misses the ult. He's going to back off of that. Doesn't have the mana to really do all the set, but that was a good fight. It looks like it was going to start out really well for Wash. Galio ult comes in, it hits 3, but they managed to just skid away, get over the wall. Tef flashing out, our escape also flashing out of there with War Leader. And then the re-engage, I was looking a little bit worried there for War Leader. He was, you know, getting caught right there. I thought, you know, he's going to go down, they're going to get away. This fight could actually turn back against them, but they managed to quickly pick off the Galio. They catch Johnny Tsunami out again, root him in place. So squishy on this Sona, such an easy pick. And, you know, RLS is starting to get a little bit of a lead here. This is definitely not where Wash wants to be at the moment.
No, it's only a little bit of a lead, though. We're not even looking at 2K gold right now. So that actually means that we do see RLS is going to be able to, you know, catch back, like pull this lead up farther ahead if they really need to. The Ocean Drake's still on the field. That means that there's we've got more than likely, I'm thinking like a Mountain or a Wind Drake going to be coming out for the Soul here, just based on looking at these two teams. That would be the most beneficial. Ideally, that's what Washed wants, because they're going to be the ones who need these fights to continue just to get all of their damage out from the Lucian and from that the Ornn. But unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of scaling coming out from Pangu Soul as well. So that's going to be something that Washed has to watch out for.
Yeah, and I mean, when the Ornn gets to the point where we can start doing the item upgrades, it will help. You know, it'll help kind of alleviate a bit of the lack of scaling that they have on the side of Washed. But, you know, you're going to get a damage item on the Lucian. The rest of them are just going to be tank items. Like Galio actually kind of looking like going AP. Ooh, Tef, so close on that hook. But yeah, even then, like, it's only delaying the inevitable. Like, eventually, RLS will just completely outscale Wash. They're going to hit a point where Wash will not be able to take a fight. It'll just be too much damage coming out of this team. And, you know, it also helps delay it a bit with the Dragon, but Pangu Soul is here.
Pangu Soul is here. We do see that the rest of Wash have tried to sneak this in. RLS was aware of it. The ultimate from the Volibear coming down on top. That's going to be the first Drake going over to the side of Wash. RLS just giving it over. Good call on their part, just because of the fact that they were out of position. It's a little unfortunate they weren't able to read GodX Anime's pathing on that one, so that's going to potentially hurt them later on, but we'll have to see. Look at that nice hook coming out. We do see that Sona's going to get caught, completely rooted, and then just shredded to pieces by the Xayah. RLS escape, picking themselves up a kill.
Yeah, this Sona really not working out for the side of Wash. It's just so easy to deal with in lane until it hits level 6. And it's just getting picked on Nautilus, getting some fantastic hooks out of it. It has gotten a kill, which, you know, you don't really want the kill on Sona. You'd rather have it on basically anyone else in this team. But, ooh, they're going for a Barbiturate.
Going in on that. There's going to be the hook coming out from Tefra, trying to get themselves away, but a good by Wednesday as they come in and they just pull him back under tower, knocking him up and getting that kill. Barbiturate managing to pick that up. That is going to be a nice bit of gold in their pocket. Good on Wash. Great rotations.
Yeah, that felt a little bit forced from the side of RLS. I still think they had a potential, but once the Galio comes down, you just gotta get out of there. And Unfortunately, gets clipped right on the edge of that, and Tef loses his life. So a good trade right there. Good roam out of Watch. We said Wednesday needed to be proactive and start rotating around the map, using that ultimate to kind of set things up for his team. And is doing a good job at it so far.
Yeah, doing a pretty darn good job. And then at the same time, we see a great rotation coming out from Godex Anime going right for this Rift Herald during that fight in the bot lane. Looks like Tef has sussed it out as well. And we have the rest of the members of Wash coming over to assist. PJ Salt has returned. The hook's going to come out. We see that Godex Anime is going to get caught. Diana trying to hit with the Crescent, not quite able to. We see the Stormcaller going gigantic in order to escape. That is going to be a lot of resources expended for that Rift Herald, which is going to put Wash in a very comfortable position to push whichever lane they want.
Yeah, that's going to be really good to have the Herald. I mean, they got it before. Tef managed to get over there. War Leader managed to grab it, but without that ultimate, that does take a little bit of the playmaking potential that Godex Anime has until it comes back up. I mean, it's not a super long cooldown. It's already a quarter of the way back to where back to open, and as once it's back up, you just drop that. You can easily dive a turret with that. Herald tanking it for them, ulting just to give it time to get there first and set the dive early. Very good playmaking potential. I could see Godex Anime maybe looking for something on this bottom side. We do see the lane getting pushed in a bit. Barbiturated and Johnny Tsunami are putting some pressure on that side of the lane. So could rotate down here, could drop that, could dive. They could try to kill this Xayah. It is hard. Xayah's ultimate is up, so not a really easy dive target. But I mean, there's not really many good dive targets to look for against RLS. I mean, you got a Quirky, he's gonna be hard to get away, and Set's pretty terrifying to dive. Ooh.
Yeah, I got a nice bit of damage coming out right there. Once again, the Grit just missing the true damage proc, so that means that Built Like Mewtwo is going to miss that damage right here, where he's going to get caught by a couple of Brittle Stacks. He's going to be really low, going to get pulled out. The ultimate, the showstopper, does not stop the show that PJ Salt is putting on, and that is going to be a huge pickup for Ornn, and that is going to put a nice bit of gold into his pockets. He just starts building his items in this lane.
Yeah, Mewtwo, I don't think his shield was back up yet, so he couldn't use the grit he'd accumulated to kind of save his life. Stop the ultimate, but the hammer coming down from PJ Salt. Fantastic there. PJ Salt actually starting to get a little bit of a lead here, up 30 CS right now up 2 kills. Could start to become a problem here for this set. Not what you'd usually expect to see.
Look at the damage coming out on Pangusol.
Yeah, this AP Galio can do some good work early on. It just depends if it's going to be able to get most of that out later on when fights are getting more chaotic, when everyone's spread out a bit more. That's what we're kind of looking to see. But, keeping up well into this Quirky, but it's a Quirky, so you kind of need to set him further back. I mean, the package is up right now. He's going to definitely be trying to look for a play, looking to make some sort of rotation, I would assume, towards bottom side, try to pick off Johnny Tsunami yet again.
Now, to keep in mind when looking at these two teams, it looks like the front line that's available for Team Wash is going to be much more useful in these later fights than the dive potential that RLS has. Because we've been talking about RLS having the better team fight, and it's kind of true. But we got to remember that Volibear is going to start getting exceptionally tanky. Wednesday is going to basically be blocking the initial damage from Pangusol and War Leader just from his passive shield, so he's going to be able to survive a little bit longer. And then even though you've got that massive shield, look at this fight here in the top lane. Volibear going in on right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There's just so much that they can do to jump in on top of him, and so little he can do to get away.
And the teleport coming out from Pangusol. They do get the dragon, though. RLS managing to grab something out of it. Johnny. Oh, the ult coming through.
There it is. The depth charge with the minion block.
tried to get it, but Minions doing the work. Ooh, though, right onto Barbiturated.
Hook. I don't know if I'd call that as an actual one that should be able to hit. The calling's going to come out crescendo, manages to hit Xayah. Tefra blocking the calling, keeping Xayah alive. That is a couple of all of the ultimates in the bot lane.
Wednesday's coming down.
Never mind, we do still have the Blade Storm still available. Xayah's probably looking for an angle right now. Got a lot of targets available to them. Diana diving in onto the backline. Galio using the Grand Entrance to try and save their allies is going to be able to do it. Zet using the Showstopper to stop the Ornn ult once again in the top lane. The Grit Shield is going to come out. They're fighting under this turret. The turret, though, doesn't deal damage to this Ornn. He's just too darn tanky. In the meantime, this bot lane fight went in such a way that Tef lost his life while Barbiturated lost theirs.
Yeah, plays all around the map coming out of Washed. RLS managing to pick one back up there, taking out Barbitulate, getting that pick onto the kill onto the Corky, but this top side is starting to get a little out of control for our against RLS. This set has not been able to hold his own into this Ornn. You know, we were saying earlier, it's something that Ornn should struggle a bit more against, but being down 50 CS, down 3 kills, at this point, like, unless Mewtwo manages to find a couple kills somewhere, get some extra gold somewhere, it's going to be really hard to even hold the lane against the Ornn. Like, he's very far behind right now. Doesn't even have his mythic yet.
No, he doesn't even have a single item, and he's versus a 1.5, or more like 2 items, because he's got that the gem that's building right now, the tier that's getting built up. So once that's finished, that means that we've got Thimblewinter coming out momentarily. But the biggest issue is that we've just seen so much presence by Godex Anime in this top lane. They have been such a pivotal role in making sure that this set is not able to run away with that lane and actually putting the Ornn ahead. PJ Salt has been needing that, and it's been so useful for him.
Pangu.
Yep, got a nice bit of damage here in this mid lane. It's not going to result in a huge fight, but the death charge is going to mean that there's going to be a lot of damage coming out. As right there, we see Lucian getting taken out. Pangu Soul is getting brought very, very low as well. We have Ornn jumping in on the backline. Diana ult is going to come down, and that's going to mean a lot more magic damage is going to shred through those health bars. But unfortunately, there's just too much tank on the side of Team Washed. The nice root on Godex Anime gets Tephra missing that hook, means that is going to be a big fight lost in overall, even though it does look like it's relatively even. It's a 2-for-2. I do think that Wash technically won that trade.
I do too. I think that they came out much healthier in that one. I think if that fight had kept going, RLS would not have won it. There isn't that much damage yet. This is a lethality Xayah, so
this is what we're talking about right here. The Ornn ultimate is going to go off once again. It is going to manage to find its target this time. We see Tephra getting knocked up. Xayah in the back line, throwing out the feathers, trying to do what they can. Huge showstopper is going to continue this fight, but look how tanky the members of Washed are. The health bars just do not disappear, and that means that it's plenty of time for Barbitulate to come up and dish out a clean dose of the culling onto Xayah.
There we go. Washed getting a little bit of early advantage, kind of clawing back a bit of what we were hoping they'd be able to do in this early game. And I think it's off the back of PJ Salt. He has just gotten, him and Godex MA, they've gotten such a lead in this top side. They're so tanky that RLS, despite doing well in the other lanes, doesn't have their items online. It hasn't hit their power spikes or any armor pen to be able to break through it. And they're just, it's like it's just like basically just slapping them with a wet paper towel. It's not doing any damage to those two. We saw how long they lasted in that fight, and crazy amount of time. And this is just gonna, this isn't a like attack speed Xayah. This isn't like a normal AD carry Xayah. This is that lethality build that we're seeing a lot of people run right now.
Death charge on Barbitulate. He is out of position. He doesn't have minis to block for him. That means he's gonna get caught by the hook. That's gonna be him getting hit by the blade call as well. Those feathers just ripping right through him. Johnny Tsunami tried to disengage with the crescendo, wasn't quite able to do it, and that is going to be another kill onto this Xayah. She's got to get this item online. It is only 1-1-7, so unfortunately, they're just kind of like in a really rough spot to be facing against this Ornn and this Volibear.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good kill. Tef trying to make something happen here, trying to kind of bring the game back to even. It is only 100. It's actually less than 100 gold difference right now between these two teams, so a good spot for them, good play, but Diana ult used right there will not be up in time for this dragon fight. Could be a really big deal. And this is, this is going to be the Hextech Dragon Soul. Very powerful soul. This slow and the kind of AoE damage it brings out could be very useful for both of these teams in fights. I think it could also, be useful in helping to get some more damage onto those tanks that RLS needs to do. But F hiding a little bit.
We do see the Rothschild getting dropped in this bot lane. Good use of position as they just decide to go for the Drake. They're going to cause a huge pressure in the bot lane.
Package is here.
There's nobody to take them out. Nice package, just completely sealing off the Dragon Pit. Does mean that the Ornn ult is going to come out. The Horn Call is going to come down. Galio's going to knock up every single member of RLS, get a huge taunt as everybody's caught in it, and that just means that there is going to be nothing that the rest of these teams could do. Xayah escape, trying to find some damage, trying to get these shots off. Shutdown as Diana manages to go in onto this dragon. The Volibear does manage to pick up with the smite. We do see Xayah picking up another kill over the wall, throwing out the double daggers, does use the Hex Tech to escape, and that is going to probably be the best outcome that losing fight could have gone for RLS.
Yeah, that was... It could have been a bit better if they got on the dragon, but so close right there. War Leader at least getting that kill in the pit, managing to stop, it from just becoming a complete slaughter right there. It was looking so good for RLS at first, though. They had them on the package. They had like a quick burst in the beginning, but the Galio ult hitting Xayah as she lands, unable to even get some feathers pulled right there to kind of rip through the line of Wash, and then it just becomes a bloodbath. They get separated and torn apart, picked off one by one. And Tef looking for something else here.
Looking for another target, and it's just going to be not quite able to get it. As we can see that Rift Herald did do some damage in the bot lane, brought the bottom tower to almost nothing. We do see Pengu Soul jumping in on Godex Anime, getting a nice bit of chunk damage right here. This is the damage of a Corki, but unfortunately we're going to have to see, is it going to last long enough? We do have the TP coming out as Set is going to be coming to join this fray. Unfortunately, it's not quite quick enough for him to actually continue the engage, but the tower is going to fall in the bot lane, which is going to be very important for RLS to kind of relieve some of this pressure.
Yeah, but now the teleport advantage on the side of Watch. PJ Salt has that whenever. Wednesday also has teleport too, so they have, at least for the next, I'd say about minute, they've got the complete advantage. They'll have a slight advantage. Pengu Souls, once that comes back up, at least they'll be able to slightly answer one teleport. But now they can make plays around the map. Ornn can go topside. He can just split it up, can draw somebody up there, and just come in whenever he wants with a teleport for a team fight. So RLS has to play a little bit more cautious here. Has to kind of try to hope they can get a catch somewhere and just take a quick pick and then back off before Ornn comes down. Ornn, the PJ Salt, though, is kind of rotating between the two lanes. Seems a little bit hesitant to want to have to try to commit that teleport later, especially because they don't know where Corki is right now.
No, they don't know where he is. He's just hiding off in that topside jungle, getting being a little sneaky deaky. Isn't quite able to find a right angle, though, so that means that we're going to just kind of see both these teams disengage. RLS still needs to kind of slow the pace of this game down. They've got themselves a little bit of a lead, but they still need to get these item spikes online in order to make sure that they can get through the massive health bar that is the Ornn. And look, Ornn is just about able to finish their Fimbulwinter, so once that is completely online, that's going to be even more tank in their pocket. And we do see that he's already given himself the upgraded Frostfire Gauntlet. So that right there is just a lot more damage on him that RLS has to contend with.
Yeah, and they've got to start trying to get some armor pen to deal with these tanks. That should be, honestly, it should be something their next item, or at least Pengu Soul give them a Void Staff, something to help them break through this beef that is the front line of Wash, between the Volibear, between the Ornn. It's just becoming more and more difficult for them to do so. I thought this was going to be, honestly, I know lethality has been popular, but I thought with the kind of comp they were setting up, they were going to go for an attack speed Xayah. We do see the upgrade coming through for the Lucian 2 from the Ornn right there. Thank you, observers. And oh, hang on, we see the ult coming in onto Johnny Tsunami. Oh, fight the bot side.
Johnny Tsunami, we do see that Built Like Mewtwo looking for that engage. She's trying to find the target, not quite able to. They do manage to take down Wednesday, so Pengu Soul's going to pick up that kill. That's going to be really important. Tef just missing their hook.
Close, very close. They do manage to at least pick off Wednesday, so that is going to be pretty good for them. The Lucian ult burning right through. Mewtwo looks like she's looking for something right here.
Trying to find a target. Do see the hook come out, and that is going to be Godex Anime getting caught, pulled in, but unfortunately they're a Volibear, so that doesn't really matter as they just managed to tank basically the entire thing. However, look at this. PJ Salt finally starting to lose some health as we do see the damage finally starting to come out for RLS. They have finally gotten to that point where they're like, okay, we can start taking these fights. We can start actually winning them, and Washed is going to start losing their grip if they are not careful. Their hands are getting a little bit soapy.
Just a little bit soapy right there. RLS has managed to claw back 1,000 gold lead right now, so good for them. Dragon, though, up in about 15 seconds. If Wash manages to get this, they will be on Soul Point. And that's going to force RLF to contest. They are down here. The package is up for Pengu again.
Tef just kind of walking out there, just being like, hey guys, how's it going? I'm just coming to say hi. Just trying to find a target. He doesn't actually manage to. We do see that they don't manage to find a target. Wash is actually being forced back to the mid lane. Kind of interesting that they're just walking away. I'm not entirely sure what exactly is going on.
Yeah, it looked like they were setting up for a player there, but they're just kind of letting it go.
It does. It looks like they're just letting it go. They're not choosing to contest it at all. We do see PJ Salt finally trying to do something, throwing out the Ornn call, but it could be a little bit too late. We do see a nice engage, but a huge Corki package right there. That was just devastating as we see it just shredding through the health bars. Look at that. That is absolutely massive. Wash looked for a good engage, and unfortunately, RLS found it to be much more beneficial to them.
Yeah, I don't know why they've been just backing up, but they finally go for the fight, and I don't know, it just felt kind of forced. It felt like Wash was playing a little bit scared right there, as we see a little bit of a replay right here. They back up, they just let it push towards the turret. It looks like they want to try to bait a fight under this turret here, but then they don't seem to expect that much damage to come out of RLS so quickly. So PJ Salt drops the ult, looking to try to get a play here, does hit the 2, and they go in for the dive, but the Corki package catching right there. The massive Diana ult hits everyone. Every ability of RLS just layering and layering on top of each other and just keeping everyone on top of that Corki package. It finally gets the fight they won, and RLS has now put themselves back into this game, back in a driving position with a nice 4,000 gold lead. They're going to take this Baron, and they're getting back towards what we saw also the armor pen coming out of Xayah, finally helping so much in that fight.
Yeah, and they unfortunately they had just enough health in order to actually take this Baron. There's plenty of damage available to RLS, and so they are able to pick that up. With this Baron buff, it's going to be really nice for them. They're going to have a huge amount of pressure in these lanes, and they're going to be able to set up for this Drake that's going to be coming up here in another 4 minutes. So they'll be right as the Baron timer is coming out, which is honestly perfect for them.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely perfect timing. And now, I'm just curious why Wash decided to make that whole play. Like, it really looked like they had a good position in the river. When Wednesday kind of messed up that dash from the Galio, I thought it was a bait. I thought they were going to try to catch out like an engage from Pengu and engage from Tef, turn the fight around when they were so tanky and had such an advantage, but they're just kind of giving up the map around the place, just letting RLS kind of do what they want, playing much more passive than I really think they needed to. And now turrets dropping on the bottom side. Galio going to try to stop that. Turret going to the top side. You're seeing the rest of Wash backing away. They are getting a little bit nervous. That bottom tier 2 going to go down. This top tier 1 about to drop 2. I don't think there's any way Ornn's going to be able to hold this on his own.
No, not really. That's going to be that top tower going down very, very quickly. The damage, like these towers basically are like paper at this point for Zion's set. They're going to get absolutely shredded. Same thing for Corki. He's just going to be able to just kind of pew, and the tower's just going to start falling, which is going to be something Wash cannot afford to deal with right now. And as we can see, they're starting to get shoved back into their own base while RLS just has free reign in their jungle and is able to just take all of these camps. And it's just going to be so devastating for GodX Anime as he's just going to start falling behind.
It's going to start falling further and further behind. Junglers aren't known in this meta for getting gold after a certain point in the game. I also want to shout out Escape building the Sorelda's Grudge. I think that's actually the right play here over Lord Doms. A lot of casting going on. Ooh, the engage though.
Nice engage. Really hard power coming out on the side of Wash. They're trying to find that target, but look at this. Diana just goes in on the back line. Huge Moonfall, grabs like 3 members, and that's going to be a double kill picked up by Diana. Huge war leader leading the pack. Tefra, in the meantime, is just pulling PJ Salt away from the rest of their team, and they are just kind of chasing them out of there, wasting as much of their time as possible, which is honestly kind of hilarious because that's exactly what Tefra wants, while the rest of the team of RLS just shoves in this lane, trying to delay this recall in order to keep Wash from actually being able to do anything to return. That's going to be the Nexus going down. Game number 1 is going to go over to RLS, but remember, folks, this is a best of 5, so it ain't even close to over.
Yeah, good, quick clean out there from RLS. They went from like iffy to like end in like 3 minutes. So fast, such a good clean pull right there from them.
So clean, so clean. And we will be like, it's just I'm looking forward to seeing how Wash chooses to respond to this. And it'll be kind of interesting. So just remember, we'll be taking a quick break, folks, and we'll be right back with game number 2.
Alrighty.